Our more advanced option for chest press, so when we're ready to move on from our machines, is by using a flat bench and grabbing our dumbbells. So our bench is flat, laying back down. Again, our dumbbells are in line with our chest, pressing straight up towards the ceiling, not locking out the elbow. Returning back down in line with our chest line. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. Our flat bench dumbbell flies, we need exactly that. We need a flat bench. Grab our dumbbells. We won't be able to go as heavy typically for what we would do for a bench press because it is a fly, which means our elbows stay slightly bent. Not at a 90 degree, but about that bit extra is about 45 degrees. Laying down, or even a little bit further. Laying down, hands are directly above us. In line with our eyes, open up in line with our chest, not gripping all the way out though. Exhale on the up. It's really important that we're not moving our elbows, so we're not extending it throughout this exercise. In line with our chest, and back up. So the hands should not be in line with our eye line, they should be remaining in line with our chest. Now, if you do want to engage your core a little bit with this one, you can bring your legs off the ground. It is harder in regards to engaging that core, so you won't be able to go as heavy with your feet off the ground. So just depending on what you're wanting to target, if it's more toning or if it's more higher weight and muscle gain. Our tricep push down, so any cable machine will do that has an upper lever connection. We're going to be using our straight bar with this one. Our feet are staggered. Elbows are tucked into our side, nice and tall throughout the back. Extending the elbows straight down. So our upper arm doesn't move. The only moving point is our elbow with this one. So coming straight back behind. Now, if you wish to engage your core a little bit more, which means that you're not allowing as much stability throughout the body, you can split the legs, so stagger the stance. Elbows remain by your side. Exhale, 2, 3, and inhale, 2, 3. Control. We don't want the elbows to be coming out and down from our chest, our lower chest. We want to be really working our tricep to help that lower arm area. With our dips, a more advanced version is using our dip machine. So this is for our triceps. Placing our hand towel down. Now with the weight on this one, it's different to what you would normally think. The heavier the weight, the easier it is because it's assisted dip, so it's assisting your own body weight. So think about how much you weigh, and then whatever weight you put on, that's how much the machine is assisting you. All right. So coming onto the machine, kneeling down. So you want a decent weight, back up nice and straight. Elbows are retracted back behind you, and coming back up. Now we want to keep our back nice and straight. And we don't want to be shrugging and crowding our neck with our shoulders throughout this one. Exhale. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale on the heart. 2, 3. And when you're ready to hop off, feet on the platform and just lightly, gently come off. Slightly more advanced from our vertical traction, we'll go for our lat pull down, which is the cable machine. If we need to, we can adjust around underneath our knees, depending on how tall you are, so how much room or space you need to keep your knees nice and snug. Ensure that we've already selected our weight. Grabbing a hold of the handle. Now we don't want to have a close grip. We want to have the slightly wider, so on the curvature down. Sitting down, back up nice and straight. Bring it all the way down in line with our chest. So we don't want to be stopping it at our eyes. We want to bring it down to our chest. Retracting back, not locking out the elbows, so keeping them slightly bent. Exhale, inhale, back remaining nice and straight and tall. And we're coming to a count of 3 for each. So 1, 2, 3, controlled, and back, 2, 3, controlled. We have our seated row now. Adjusting our seat height using the yellow lever underneath. Now, the longer your arms are, so the taller you are, yellow again, extend it out further or bring it in closer, depending on how long your arms are for your reach. We want to have this plate sitting right in our chest, not between our pectorals, so right underneath where that rib cage is. Make sure you've adjusted your weight. Back up nice and tall, so if you need to move forward in your seat, do so. Looking straight up, squeeze the scapulars together. So I want you to imagine that you have a hand between the scapula behind you. So that's between your shoulders. So you squeeze those shoulders together behind you. Nice and tall. Exhale. Exhale. 2, 3, and back. 2, 3. Don't lock out the elbows. Keep them slightly light. Nice and easy. More advanced versions were needed to obtain our core stability throughout this one from our seated row is on the cable machine. So I've used the clamp and I've changed it to our V close grip. Sitting up back, our back is nice and tall. Squeezing those scaps in behind you, releasing back. Exhale, inhale. When we're retracting our elbows, we're not locking it out, we're not letting our shoulders come forward. Back staying nice and tall and upright. Exhale, inhale. So I'm using my core stability to keep it nice and strong. More advanced version from our bicep curls is actually on our preacher curl bench. Adjusting the seat at the appropriate height, so grabbing hold for your height will be roughly the same as what you were over there previously on the machines. Grabbing hold of your bar, now you might be on an easy bar, which is an angled bar. We don't want to have a grip that's too close or too wide, so we want to have it so it's roughly in line with our shoulders, directly underneath. It's always easiest to start with it up. Retract down. Now our elbows are in line in front of us. As it starts to get harder, so it's as you're drawing towards the end of your set, you're going to feel that your elbows are drifting out on the bench underneath you. So you readjust and bring those elbows, bring them back in. Try not to let the shoulders creep forward, so we don't want to be coming over top, keeping it nice and tall throughout the back. Using your biceps and exhale on the heart. 3 down, up, 3 down. We now have our standing bicep curl, so it's working our bicep. We're going to be grabbing our dumbbells. Our feet in line with our hips, in line with our shoulders, all the way up tall. Palms are facing forward, shoulders back. Bring it straight up towards our shoulders and coming back down. Our line of our body is nice and straight and strong. Knees are slightly bent. Our elbows on the retraction are not extended fully, keeping them slightly bent. As we count to 3. So 1, 2, 3, up, 2, 3. We're now going to be working our abdominal muscles, so we're going to be going on an ab machine. I've adjusted already the height of where I want the seat to be. Adjust the weight accordingly. Make sure your ankles are tucked in tight. Now, the ankles here are not to be helping you heave. We want the motion and exercise to be coming from our abdominals, so don't be putting pressure throughout those legs. The hardest part of this exercise is the initial pull over. So once you pull it over, then that's the hardest part. When we're coming back, we want to be able to still come back, so then we are touching, so the weight should just touch and then we'll come again. Our eye line should be following through with our upper body. So exhale, inhale. Count 1, 2, 3 and control 2, 3. Again 2, 3 and control 2, 3. We now have our leg press machine, which is a compound leg exercise, so it's using multiple muscle groups. We're going to adjust our back so we can see the numbers at the rear. So I'm going to be putting it at 4 because that's correct for my height. Now just keep in mind of how much you weigh. For you to get up and down of the toilet seat, you can pick up your own body weight. So use your body weight as an indication when you're selecting a weight to be able to be pressing through. Placing our feet on the pad in front of us, our feet to our knees, to our hips, to our shoulders. So our feet aren't close together, our knees aren't touching. They're stationed apart, but not too wide apart. Full back connection onto the pad work behind us. We don't want to be using our hands for this one, keeping it down beside you, pressing through all balls of the feet to extend back with our knees. No locking out, keeping them slightly bent, retracting back through. So we want to have our knees about a 90-degree angle, pressing through. If you're not getting a 90-degree angle, you possibly are too far away, or if your knees are too up close to you, you're too close, too forward, so you will need to adjust your seat. So pressing through all balls of the feet, 1, 2, 3, and back, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3, control it back. Don't clunk the weights, control, and pressing through all feet. Don't let the knees flow out, don't let the knees come in. So depending if you roll your feet, you may experience that as well. Next we have our lunges, and this is also working our legs all the way through to our glutes. So our lunges side views, we have a nice wide stance. Our back remains straight. Our back knee is coming straight down to the ground and coming back up. So straight down, nearly touching. If you need to touch, touch. So straight down and retracting back up. Our back stays straight. I don't want to see this. This is not a lunge coming forward. Stay upright. Should be able to see that toe past your knee at all times and back up. Coming down, check your toe out and back up. Then you need to repeat it on the other side. So really big stance back, nice and tall and up. Now as you're becoming more advanced with this, you might want to add some dumbbells, equal weight either side, coming down and up. That's after a number of sessions and a number of months. We have our calf raises now, so our calves are our lower section of our legs. We adjust our weight to what we feel is reasonable, keeping in mind what your own body weight is, because you can do your own body weight. This is on top of. If you need to adjust the height for your pad work, do so up or down. Coming down is for shorter, higher is for taller. We're coming underneath. Our toes to our mid zone, not to our arches, is on the platform. Standing up tall, so this is where we're tall. Coming down, we let our heels come down and coming back up. Very important that our spine stays straight throughout this. So letting the heels come down and back up. Our feet are not close together. And a slight pause at the top will really help. Try not to roll on the outside of your little toes. When you're coming finished, bending the knees and coming back off. We have our shoulder press machine, so it's working the entire shoulder. We're going to be using our yellow tab to adjust our seat height accordingly, depending on how tall you are. The shorter, the higher, the taller, the lower the seat comes. Adjusting our weight, then we want to have our shoulder starting point, so our thumbs should be in line with our shoulders. If they're too high, bring the seat, adjust it. If your hands are too low, it's not at the correct height. Pressing straight up towards the sky, try not to lock out the elbows, bring it on back, resting the head. Exhale up, 2, 3, and back down, 2, 3. Pressing from the shoulders, 2, 3, and back down, 2, 3. Nice and controlled. Next we have our side raises. So again, this is for our shoulders. With our weight, we won't be able to go terribly high with this one. Nice and tall at the back. Coming up to our side. So shoulder height with our elbows to our weights. Now, the longer the arms, the longer the lever, meaning the harder the weight is. We don't want to lock the elbow out. So if you have any elbow injuries, it's probably best off to keep those elbows retracted in. And as you start to go up in weight, see how you go with them at 90-degree angle. And then as you can, bring them out further and further until nearly straight arm. Alright, use of a treadmill is relatively easy, but if you are uncertain of use of a treadmill, each machine will have a safety latch. So with that safety latch, if you attach the clip to yourself, your t-shirt, when this retracts off, it will stop. So when you get too close to the end of the belt, it will stop. So to start the treadmill again, you will need to reattach your safety latch and it'll be able to start again. Now, to turn the treadmill on, we push green for go, and that will start our treadmill. 3, 2, 1. And if you want to increase the speed, we need to push our plus signal, so for faster. So just keeping in mind how fast you walk to get inside the club today, okay? An average speed for somebody walking, depending on their age, but normally nobody walks at a slower speed than 4 kilometers an hour, and it just increases from there depending on how fast you walk. Now, if you wish to incline the treadmill, we can incline the treadmill, meaning inclining the belt or the bed. So it's simulating that the same as it would be on a hill. If we ever wish to stop, we push stop and it will stop. Belt stop. Okay, simple and easy. All right, there are various different steppers available. This one over here is a climber stepper, so if you wish to use that one, you can. Today I'm going to be using this stepper right here. Okay, so if these ones here, a lot of the equipment at the latest gym or in the mixed gym is self-generated, which means it will power up as soon as you start using it. So it doesn't need to be connected to power, so you're creating and generating your own energy and the earth will love you. All right, so once you've generated enough power, the screen will turn on. We're going to push quick start for go. And with our quick start, we can adjust our effort level, so our resistance. So that means the higher the resistance, the faster we need to step. Now with our goal, just think about how quick you would be stepping if you're going up a flight of stairs. You don't want to be doing it too easy, because remember, this is your cardio component. So this is where we're going to be burning fat and burning our calories.